Hey kids, what time is it?
What time is it?
It's Community Conversations time.
It's Community Conversations time. That's right. From the beaches of South Florida to the hills of Tennessee, from New York to Hawaii. Tell your friends that Community Conversations is about to inform the next generation with news, without fear, and educate them without a pain.
And a warm South Florida and Costa Rica welcome to all of you.
This 1 hour forum deepens connections, and it provides discussions on a range of topics, including social emotional issues, improving relations with law enforcement, post-secondary education, careers, health and wellness, politics and race, inclusion and equality.
Focus on an initiative. Case in point tonight, you all were speaking about gun violence. Since I've been growing up, that's been a thing, especially living here in Florida.
Community Conversations, where it's all about highlighting the talented youth in our communities and the great things that they are doing.
In terms of encouraging women's involvement in civil rights activism.
Community Conversations.
Good evening and happy Friday, news lovers. It's 7 p.m. and you already know what time it is. Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Rashana Shaw.
And you're in where?
Toronto.
And I'm C. Ron Allen, sitting in for Dania Strawn, who, as usual, is somewhere. I'm sure she's going to say I'm caught in traffic. But anyway, for the next 30 minutes, or rather 60 minutes, we're serving up the news you need to know. And trust us, you won't hear this anywhere else.
46 hours to go until Soulful Serenade. Picture this. Serenade. Picture this. Smooth jazz, powerful gospel, and R&B that hits you right in the feels. That's exactly what's going down in Soulful Serenade this weekend. That's Sunday, April 27th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Rivera Beach Event Center. You'll catch Derek Mack grooving on stage, Chicago's own Fernando Jones bringing those rich, soulful blues sounds, and gospel legends Sharon Spence and Terrion Nelson belting out vocals that will leave you speechless. Dance, sing along, or just chill. The vibe is going to be immaculate. Tickets are $40 or $75 for VIP. Get yours now on Eventbrite or call 561-665-0151. Who's ready for an unforgettable night?
And I'm ready. I'm going to be there. Unfortunately, you're in Toronto, but I'm going to make every effort to make that, Michelle, because proceeds from this event, I think what she didn't have in the script was proceeds from this event will help us to send more kids to summer camp this year. Every penny raised will help pay for a child to go for summer camp. And another thing, just want to say, if you cannot attend and are able to, please buy a ticket just to support the cause or make a donation, because again, this will help send a young man or young lady to camp this year. Anyway, farewell plans are coming together for Pope Francis. I think it was 2 days ago. They had a procession that was led by cardinals, and they brought his body to St. Peter's Basilica, where the faithful will get to pay their respects until this evening. In fact, it's still going on now. The funeral itself is scheduled for 10 a.m. local time tomorrow, which translates to 4 a.m. on the East Coast for those wanting to watch it live. So, Michelle, if you want to watch it, you're going to have to get up at 4 a.m. So you can see it. What I'm going to do is I will watch the you're going to watch it? Okay, she says she'll watch the rebroadcast or YouTube. Oh, excuse me. She's going to watch the YouTube videos. Anyway, dignitaries from around the world get a front row seat. I read today that our President Trump and the First Lady have already left for that. Millions more are expected to flood St. Peter's Square and surrounding streets. When he's finally laid to rest, the Pope will do so in simplicity. Later on in the show, I'll share my thoughts on this man. This is one of the few members of the clergy that I have the utmost respect for and feel very this is one of those people, Rashana, that I just have a lot of respect for. You'll hear more about it later on. But anyway, not to mix editorial with the news. According to his will, this just shows how down to earth this man is. According to his will, and unlike other popes, he did not request any mention of his papacy, which is tenure as a pope. The only inscription on his casket will be his chosen name, Franciscus. Wow. Wow.
Selection of a new pope, which is a process known as a conclave, will not begin before May 6th. Once it does get underway, 135 cardinals
And cardinals is just like a pastor. That in the Catholic Church, they're the big guys. The one that like they're a little higher than the regular pastor. They're almost like the superintendent. They're the big dogs. Okay,
135 cardinals under the age of 80 will be sequestered or sealed inside the Sistine Chapel for what is usually several days and several rounds of secret balloting.
Balloting.
After each vote, smoke is sent skyward with the results. Black means none of the candidates received a two-thirds majority, but once white smoke blows from the chimney, it's a sign to the world that a new pope has been chosen.
Very interesting way in how they select a pope. Now, this story is such a perfect one for a teach of a moment. I wish Denaya Strawn was here and the other young ladies, and young men, but we'll do this again next week. Conclave. What is a conclave? What do you think a conclave is? As it relates to the papacy.
I don't know.
You just said it a while ago. The selection process. How they elect or select a person to be the pope. It's called the conclave. So the conclave is the process. You may just call it, most of us call it the application process, but it's called the conquest. What about sequestered? When they say you're sequestered inside, what does that mean? Later on in life, you're going to hear the word used a lot. Sequestered.
Sealed inside?
Sealed inside, yes. They're going to be locked inside a room. They can't leave until they select or not select someone. And it's done by secret balloting. What does secret balloting mean?
Like choosing.
Secret balloting. What does that mean? What do you think?
Like choosing secretively.
Exactly. So how do you think they can choose someone secretly without anyone knowing? Think broadly.
I don't know.
A good answer. Well, one way is they can write it on a piece of paper. Everyone has a piece of paper, and everyone write a name in who they want, and they turn them in. No name on the ballot, just the name of the person who you think should be the next one. Or, excuse me, each cardinal may have a buzzer or a way where they can just type in the name and send it in. And they can see it. There's a person who tabulates the scores. What does that mean? Tabulates the scores. I mean, tabulates the names. Tabulates the
Like
name.
tallies them.
Whoa, you learned some big words today. Whoa, tally the wow. So you learned 3 big words today, and I learned 1 from you. That's good. Tabulates and tally. That's all right. Good job. So now you can tell Rihanna, you can tell Denia and all the rest next week that you learned 3 new words: sequestered, secret balloting, and what was the other one? What was the third one?
Conclave.
Begins with a C. C. Conclave. You learned 3 new words this week on community conversation. So see, people, we not only entertain, inform, but we also educate. And that's what I love about the show. A chance to educate all those listeners around the country. Anyway, young men, this is for you. It's time to believe, achieve, and become. Join us tomorrow, April 26th, at the United House of Prayer in Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, for the Inspire Young Men to Believe and Achieve Conference, an empowering event focused on relationships. You probably remember last Friday night show, we had 2 gentlemen here, the organizers of that conference. They told us all about it. So if you missed last week's show, make sure you go back and you watch it. Mr. Joel and Mr. Garrett were on, and they told us all about the conference, what to expect, etc. And anyway, industry professionals will equip you with tools to understand personalities as well as emotional intelligence, embrace change, and harness the power of self-awareness. Learn how values, identity, and purpose shape meaningful connections in life. The conference begins at 9 a.m. and runs through 12 noon. Don't miss this opportunity for growth. Again, you can call 561-665-0151 for more information or to register. Again, go out and believe, go out and achieve, go out and become.
Hey, young explorer.
Well, I think we have a video. I think we have a video coming up. Talk about child labor law. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this one. They have a little kid working. What do you have to say?
Hey, young explorers. I am sure you have been wondering what the grown-ups in your life do all day at work. Well, on Thursday, some of you got to find out because it was Take Your Child to Work Day. Instead of heading to school, kids everywhere swapped backpacks for briefcases and traded books for teamwork as they stepped into their parents' world of work. Whether it was helping run a store, like little Amaya from Grassy Waters Elementary in Riviera Beach, seeing how doctors save lives, or even test driving a fire truck, Thursday was all about learning, dreaming, and discovering new possibilities.
Yes, it was. Future doctors checked our charts. Young chefs flipped pancakes. Junior engineers coded away. Many firefighters sounded the sirens. But it's not just about having fun, Rashana. Thursday planted big ideas, helped kids see what their future could look like. Who knows? Some left their workplaces thinking, wow, I want to do this when I grow up. So whether you're handed out mentos or rather memos, shadowed meetings, or just ask a million questions, we hope you enjoyed Take Your Child to Work Day. And as Rashana said earlier, who knows? You may have just discovered your dream job along the way. On that, let's give a big shout out to our biggest supporter, Mr. Stephen Shuttle. Now, his generous donations have fueled KOP Mentor Network's programs, including this very own show. We've been bringing community conversations to you for 5 years and could not have done it without supporters like Mr. Shuttle. Want to join the movement? Go ahead and call 561-665-0151, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Don't ask me where, just go and I guess you're typing KOP Mentoring Network Community Conversations. That's it, right? Okay. Together, guys, we can make a difference. Rashana, you got it.
I don't have the script.
You don't have the script. What happened?
I don't know. Like, if I scroll down more, it's like gone. There's no more.
It's gone. Okay. Well, tired of the gloomy news? We got you. If you're over the gloom and doom, Community Conversations flip the script. We highlight young change makers making big impacts, from local heroes to global change game changers. If someone in your life needs some positivity, text or call them right now and let them know we are on air. South Florida needs elite security services. We'll look no further than Hunter Sampson Security, expert in concealed weapons training, tactical defense, self-defense, and more. Tell your friends to call Hunter Sampson Security, your leaders in security services. That's Hunter Sampson. Call 561-597-6348 and ask for Nick. Tell them that you heard this right here on this Community Conversations. Okay, on that note, from the beaches to the boondocks, they say from Miami to Maine, tell your friends that Community Conversations is on, and it's that time of the show when Mr. John and Mr. C-Ron take it away. Brother John, what's happening, man?
Good brother, good brother.
Man, it is so nice to see you, man. It's been like a month or two since. It feels like a month or two since.
Man, it definitely does feel like it.
Yeah, last week, I don't know what I was doing last week. I was somewhere last week, but you held the fort down for me, and the week before I did for you, and that's what I like about it, man. Teamwork.
Absolutely.
Teamwork. The last couple of weeks also for the kids, many of them had this time of year when you have prom and you have graduation rehearsal and everybody's out tonight. Denai was supposed to be here. I got a text at the last minute. You got it. You got it. I'm going out with my cousin. So I guess I have it. But John, just want to take a moment and give a major shout out to Jeremiah for people have no idea what goes on behind the scenes here. The video he just played a while ago, he just got that video less than 15 minutes before the show. And he was able to render that video, put it together. And even though he kept telling me, stall, I did the best we could, but he got it up. And, just want to say, Jeremiah, your hard work has not gone unnoticed.
Yeah, absolutely. I echo those sentiments for sure.
Yeah. And Miss Rashana, you should have the script. So Denia's not here, but that's all right. Like she said, you got it. I got you, Rashana. But so John, the old man went on, Pope John Paul, man. It's that's such a sad, very sad moment in history.
No, for sure. I think he was one of the more progressive popes. I know definitely, the first pope, I believe, from South America. So
yes,
definitely made history. I think he was able to move the church along. So it'll be interesting to see, what they end up doing to replace him.
Yeah, that is so true. You mentioned he's the first one from which he is, the first one from South America, and he was one of the most humble person I've seen in that role, at least through my lifetime, that I can recall. Do you think the fact that culturally had something to do with his humility?
For sure.
Okay. Today, folks, the world bids farewell to Pope Francis, who's a leader whose legacy is not measured in grand declarations, but in simple human gestures that touched millions. He is and was a pope who walked among the people, who shunned extravagance in favor of humility. As I said earlier, he believed that true faith was found not in gold-trimmed vestments, but in service to others. Look at how the man chose to go out, not in a elaborate casket, but they said a casket just made of plain wood. And all he wanted on it was his name that he was given when he came in this earth. From the moment he assumed his job as Pope, he rejected the trappings of power. Gone were the regal red shoes, replaced by worn, everyday footwear. And that was something that impressed me so much about him. Whenever he traveled, he was in sandals and just everyday shoes, John. The grand papal residence stood empty as he chose instead a simple guest house, which was a reflection of his deeply held belief that leadership should not be about closeness, or rather should be about closeness, not distance. And even as his health declined, he never wavered in his commitment to the people, greeting crowds with a smile, embracing the sick, the poor, and the forgotten. I remember seeing him while he was in the hospital, and they had his hand just going back and forth, still greeting people. And
still making appearances all the way up until the end.
All the way to the end. His message was love. His message was inclusion, and his message was compassion. He championed the marginalized. He embraced dialogue over division. He called on the world to care for both humanity and the planet. He understood that faith is not about wars, but about bridges. That leadership is not about command, but about serving with sincerity. As thousands gather to pay their respects, he remains, even in passing, as you said, exactly as he lived. Man of humility, a shepherd of the people, and a force for good. His spirit will endure, not in monuments, but in the lives that he changed. Farewell, Pope Francis. I say without a doubt, and all of us here say, the world was better because of you. Yes, it was. Jeremiah, let's bring Mr. Our next guest in. Let's see, Mr. Everett. Yes, sir. What's up? You know we love bringing you stories of movers, shakers, and change makers. And today's guest is the real deal. I mean, the real deal. Yep, Mr. Christopher T. Everett, a powerhouse in finance. He's a former football standout and the mastermind behind the RLE Foundation. He's using the game of golf to open doors, to create opportunities, and help young people just like you find their passion and build a future they're proud of. But from the fairways to the boardroom, Mr. Everett proves that success isn't about what you start. It's about how you go for it. We're diving into mentorship, we're diving into scholarships, and the kind of game-changing wisdom you won't ever find in a textbook. So grab your headphones, turn up the volume, and let's get into it. Thanks for joining us, brother man. Great seeing you again. How are things?
Things are well. Thanks for having us back on. It's good to see you, Mr. Ciron, and John's also well. Great to see you, and congratulations on the new role.
Appreciate it, brother.
Good to see your progression as well.
Yeah, who we have here? You brought the junior with you today, huh?
The junior, the student's becoming the teacher. It's my son Blake. He's doing some great things as well, and I wanted to bring him along on this conversation.
Hey Blake, how are you? Sorry, John. Go ahead, bro.
I was just saying. I mean, as a graduate of North Carolina Central University, we could only expect the good brother to be out here doing amazing things. And so I've definitely been following you. I'm now living in South Carolina, but definitely glad that you're continuing on and keep changing lives.
Chris and John, I must say that North Carolina Central has produced some great graduates, but somehow along the way it failed one of you guys. And I know it wasn't John.
It wasn't neither of us.
Chris? What happened?
It wasn't neither of us.
Oh man. Oh, John. He decided to go purple on us, bro. But that's all right.
So if that is the mistake that he made, we all make mistakes every now and then. So
yeah, but Chris,
just because it's first doesn't mean it's the best. I'll just leave it at that.
There you go. Golf isn't always the first sport that comes to mind for teens, for young people, and I'm sure you can attest to that. What made you choose it as the focus of the foundation?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not, and golf is a sport that I picked up in my 30s, and just reflecting back on the relationships that I've developed or the relationship that I've deepened while playing the sport, and even now in my career, the opportunities that I get because I'm able to interact with clients and prospects in that way. It's a great door opener. And to your point, it's not the first sport that many students think about, particularly from certain backgrounds, but it's something that we need to think about because it's such a great recreational sport, great for networking and character building. So I'm passionate about sharing it with people, and that they don't have to wait until they're in their 30s to pick it up, but they can do it as a teen or younger.
Speaking of sharing, what's the biggest lesson golf has taught you about life?
That not every shot's gonna turn out well. You can make some great decisions in life and have great intentions, but those intentions and those decisions, those actions don't necessarily turn out the right way. It's like in golf, you might end up in the rough, But just because you're in the rough doesn't mean that you can't get back on track, doesn't mean that you can't make par. So, while we make mistakes in our daily walk, when we find ourselves in places that we don't want to be, it doesn't mean we can't get back on track. Doesn't mean that we can't exceed the expectations that we have for ourselves, for our lives as well. So I think I look at golf as a metaphor for life, and those character traits are important.
Chris, of course, as part of the intro that Mr. C. Ron delivered, so you played college football, and then now you work in banking. Could you describe how sports shape your approach to leadership and success?
Sure. And so, it was a big part of my leadership decisions. And so early on, I had the opportunity to go into commercial banking or stay in retail banking and lead teams. And I chose to stay in retail and lead teams because growing up playing sports, and football is one that I truly loved, you learn that everyone plays a role and everyone brings value. And it's important not to have in football 11 people that are the same size, the same speed, or think the same way, because you'll have a terrible football team. But when you have a variety of individuals, some that are bigger, stronger, can move people, some that are really fast, run around people, and individuals that are smart and know what choices to make in the heat of the moment, that's when you have the opportunity to have a great football team. And so as I have progressed my career, that's things that's been important to me. I like to have individuals around me that will challenge my thought process, that will be willing to work hard to achieve the common goal that we have, but also have different points of view. I know the way that I think, and I know what comes to me naturally, but there's things that are in my blind spot. There's things that I'm not good at naturally. And that's where other members of the team can help to support and together collectively create something outstanding.
I'd like to jump in on that. I feel like for sports, you can carry them on to other things, and that carries on into the real world. If you're able to do one thing in football, like if you're able to kick the ball, you can carry that into soccer, and you can be the best striker out there. There are lots of things in life where you can carry over. So the patience and the ability to say, I didn't do the best on one stroke, can carry over into life. And you being able to manage people that sometimes aren't the easiest to work with, because that is life, not having the best setup, which is the same in sports. So I feel like being able to transfer over some ideals is really helpful.
I agree. I was a tennis student athlete at North Carolina Central. So again, as you know, and especially as an individual sport, just kind of handling the highs and the lows, being able to stay honed in, stay focused. And so, I think it teaches a lot of life lessons, things that have helped me a lot as I've, got into my chosen career path and have made moves. A lot of it's been, kind of rooted in some of the self-confidence that I received as a student athlete. So no, I definitely appreciate you sharing. And on the point of sharing advice, what is one piece of advice you could give teams that are just out here chasing their dreams?
Pun intended, but to go for it. It's a lot of times people talk about what they want to do, and they share it, but they don't take that first step. They don't take the action to move. And oftentimes, what I've found is it's hard to get behind someone and support people that aren't doing it. They're talking about it. But when you see someone actually trying to get something accomplished, people will join in and help you and support. And so I use, what we have done with the RLE Go For It Foundation as a perfect example. So 4 years ago, when we did our first event, I don't think at that time I'd ever actually even played in a golf tournament, let alone put one on. But Mr. Campbell, Stanley Campbell here at Martin Downs, I shared with him my vision, what I wanted to get accomplished. And that these are the things I'd started doing. I'd already written my book. I've already just developed the 501c3, but this is what I want to do with it. He gave me some tools and things to help move that along. And so now at year 4, we've continued to do and to build. We've gotten other individuals that have come on board to either share their wisdom or to share their finances or to jump on our board and support and put in, man and woman hours. And so those things are important. So I would tell anyone, if you're passionate about something, first off, do your homework, read up on it, use the tools that are available, YouTube, what have you, to fully understand what it is that you think you want to do. And if you're still passionate about that, you still want to do it, take the first step. Once that happens, you'll get people you pick up momentum, just like that flywheel, right? When the flywheel starts going, it picks up momentum and goes. I think the same thing as we pursue our dreams.
I'm so happy that 4 years later, I remember when you first started this, when you had the dream, and look at you 4 years later. Talk about. So, Brad, what role do you play in this? What's your role in all this?
Blake.
Blake. Excuse me, Blake.
I'm all around helping everyone, trying to make sure the event runs smoothly. Yeah, and I sort of try to make sure that everyone has what they need, and if not, I go out and find the person to help them with that. And I feel like being able to find the right people for the right job is really helpful, because if you're not able to do it and the person asking you isn't able to do it, if you're able to go get someone who can do it, you can learn more about it. You can learn more about it because you can feel their passion, which connects to what he said before. Or if you find someone passionate about it, they can really help you figure out how to do it better and with more conviction.
Are you play for a team now? Do you play for a team in school or in a community?
I don't currently play for a team. I would like to, though.
You like to? Where do you go to school? High school or middle school?
I'm in middle school. I attend Southwest Middle.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. So you say you're pretty good in golf, huh?
Yes, I'd say so, but there's still a lot of things I want to learn, like in other aspects. I am good at some things, and I'm working at others. Try to be able to round myself out while still focusing on what I'm good at. Because there's some things where just like I'm not going to be as sharp with, but if I can focus on my strengths, I can show what I bring to the table and really enhance that.
Okay. Well, tomorrow I will not be able to attend the workshop seminars and the events tomorrow. But next time Dad comes to town, make sure you bring your clubs. Who knows? Might take you out and see what you know, see how much you know.
So
that's a challenge. That's a challenge now. That is a challenge.
We don't back down to any challenges. So
no, not at all, not at all. And I'd like to take a moment, if you have a second, to really share and dig deep. So one of the joys that I get in what we get to do with our foundation, our events, is Blake is here with me and he gets to see it in action. And so I didn't realize that or understand just how important that was to me until looking at pictures from the first event. Every picture that I was in, he was right beside me. We were right there. And, he's listening to me interact with the golf course owner. We're interacting with the business manager. Those things are important and valuable. And now, we do different things, even not here, but other one-off events that we do. Having him, turn around and see that he's helping some of the other young people understand how to hold a club or do an activity that we're doing is just really special. So I've enjoyed watching his growth and maturity in this process, and looking forward to our next board meeting. We'll take a vote on adding a junior board member. So,
man, that's mentoring, man. You must be a proud daddy tonight.
Man, and to kind of continue on that mentorship theme. So of course the RLE Go For It Foundation is all about mentorship. Chris, can you share a moment where mentorship changed someone's life?
Absolutely. And so I share my own journey. And I'll give you the abbreviated version, but early on in my career, I was a teller, and I was, part-time teller, and I was going to school, and I treated it like a part-time job. So what I mean by that is, sometimes I'm running a little bit late, or I'm running in there on two wheels, and I'm, not properly dressed for the job that I'm doing. And I had a lady I'll never forget. She was a mortgage lender at the time, Sandra Braswell. She came up to me and stood beside my teller window and just started talking about me, but to me, and talking about how sometimes people have really good opportunities, really good jobs, and they don't realize what they have, and they treat it like a job instead of a career, and they're a little bit late and maybe not dressed, all of these things. And I'm thinking to myself in the moment, what is this lady talking about? I got work to do. And it didn't truly sink in until probably 2 weeks later when I was doing exactly what she was telling me that, this person may do. And it hit me in a change because I did not want to be seen that way or perceived that way. And if she saw it and took the time to come and present it to me in a way that I could hear it and receive it, I owed it to her and to myself to do something with it. And so from then forward, I made sure that I was preparing myself the day before for work, and periodically put on a full suit and go to stand behind the teller window because I knew that that was not the job or the career that I wanted to have. It wasn't the perception I wanted people to have of me. And so I needed to start with the person in the mirror. And it was almost immediately noticed. People would comment on, what I was wearing or the way that I carried myself. And that truly helped change the trajectory of my career. I was a criminal justice major. I thought I wanted to do something totally different. But instead, this helped to open doors for me and turn what was a part-time job into a career.
I'd like to add to that with the power of mentors, because from mentors you get experiences, and from experiences you get to learn so many different things, which is what I think is one of the most important things for my peers in college to understand. And when you go to a place where you get to find something new, if you're able to soak it up and understand it, you get new mentors, you get new everything. You have a new outlook on life because of the way you got shown from a different person, which is extreme.
And then Chris, I know it's very special for your son to be with you. What is your favorite memory from your signature golf weekend?
Well, obviously what you just mentioned, being able to have Blake here, he's been here every year with us and getting a chance to spend this kind of time in this environment, where sometimes it gets a little bit stressful when you're having to make quick decisions and you're having certain conversations that otherwise he wouldn't get to hear and see. So that's special. But from what, we do, there's, our first year, there was a young man that got to attend with his father. He typically spends just weekends with his dad. And so this was, first of all, we're very appreciative that they chose to spend their weekend with us. And they only have the weekends. But to be able to see this young man, pick up a golf club for the first time and go through the clinic, and then we have conversation on Saturday after they get a chance to see the golf course. We come back and have some group discussion about what they saw, about the different career opportunities and the different things. And you could see the light bulb go off for him and start to truly understand that this is bigger than just swinging a golf club. And he started to connect. And equally important, his dad got to see that. His dad got to see his son light up and ask questions and engage in this new sport that coming into it, I think both of them were a little bit skeptical about, well, why are we here? What's happening at this place? So that's what drives us. That's why I do what I do. And that's why our organization does what we do, is to be able to create those moments. And again, we're catching teenagers. And so at that point, it's a little bit late to turn, and make a professional golfer at a teenager. Typically going to start a little bit earlier. It can still happen, but generally you're going to start the sport earlier. But ultimately, we want to open people up to this new experience and to let them know that it's such a wide array of opportunities within the industry, within the game. And it's not just for a certain class of people.
Say, Chris, Blake obviously is entrenched in the foundation. And if let's say a teen wanted to get involved with the foundation, how or what are some ways that they can participate?
Absolutely. And so we're continuing to do these events. And so it started off as just an annual event here, but now we've started to move around. We were fortunate enough to do an event in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina this past January. We'll be in Naples in June. And so we're starting to add some additional pieces. And so hitting more communities. Well, I would say, to visit our website. And so we have our YouTube channel, which is what we call our Life on Par. And so we invite speakers on to share their journey, whether they're entrepreneurs or they're in corporate America or they're athletes. So some examples, we had the esports and gaming team from Johnson C. Smith University on with their advisor, John Cash. So they talked about their experiences. we've had a physician, Dr. Janaea Hunley from Charlotte, that was on and kind of shared hers, and also had some pilots that flew in from Kentucky to Charlotte to do our video recording. So those are ways that you get a chance to see and experience different things that may or may not completely relate to golf, but they're opportunities that could open your eyes to, oh, I can do that, or this is someone that I can reach out to. We've also recently formed a partnership with the Academy of Goal Achievers out of Charlotte. And so they have mentoring programs for young people up through high school. But the part that really has intrigued us is their program for their transition program, which is helping kids through college. And so, a lot of organizations like ours will give scholarships and we congratulate them and wish them well. But there's a lot of things that happen during your college journey that you might need a mentor, someone to help you out or guide you, but also preparing you some of those soft skills. And so we go to college and you major in what you major in, but sometimes you miss out on those soft skills, like what Sandra did for me and others. And so they have a program where they match people up with hiring managers, with HR managers, to not only mentor them through their journey, but to also help to align them with career opportunities after school. So we're really, really excited about that partnership. That's a lane that, we don't have the skill set to provide, but we found a partner that does, and we're able to leverage that. And that's what I think, the nonprofit world is all about, is connecting resources and people that need those resources. So I'm totally excited about that. So to answer your question, Mr. Ciron, visit our website. There's a lot of information and different things that we're doing in ways that people can engage. And while Blake may be, based on vote, our first junior board member, we understand the importance of having the voices of the individuals that we want to support. And so something that I may think is fun and engaging may not be as fun and engaging to a 16-year-old. So we want to make sure that we have those individuals included.
Which brings me to my next question. Speaking of opportunities and even picking up a club, what are some of the best life skills, if you will? What are some of the best life skills that young people can learn from golf, even if they have never picked up a club?
So going out and just trying the first time, number one, I think the biggest is integrity. And so when you're playing golf, no one's going to tell you, no, don't kick your ball out of the rough and give yourself a better lie. No one's going to tell you to write the right score on your scoreboard, but those are things that, you as a person, your character, you're going to do those things because it's the right thing to do. Discipline, the discipline in understanding the mechanics of the game, this overall technique and the things that go into making a good person, into making a good golf player. So all of those things, I think, are good life skills that you pick up from the game, even as a young person. And I give the First Tee and organizations like Inner City Youth Golfers here at Riviera Beach a lot of credit, because those are things that they instill early on in young people. And again, neither organization is out to create professional golfers. If you want that professional coach, you're going to get a different type of coach. But they're looking to give you golf as a tool in your tool belt as you go through life, to help you develop that character that I just talked about, and some of those things, the discipline and integrity, and prepare you for the next challenges that you'll face as you go through life's journey.
To me, I feel like the most important characteristic would be knowing that not every time is going to be your best. Like when you're hitting the ball and you're driving it, you're not always going to have that 100-yard hard ball go right onto the green. Sometimes you're going to hit into the fairway. Sometimes you're going to hit really close. And just knowing that you can always improve because there's always one step farther is really helpful, because in many cases, academically, for testing, you're going to expect yourself to do a bit better every single time. And that's just not going to be the case. Sometimes you're going to float around the same spot. Sometimes you're going to go down. Sometimes you're going to go up. And just being able to accept that there's always going to be a higher spot that you can get to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well said. Very well said.
And Chris, I know you mentioned about, opening up to have a junior board member, but what's next? What's next for the foundation?
Yeah, great question. So we're going to continue to move forward. So like I just mentioned, we've this annual event has taught us a lot. So again, starting out 4 years ago, not knowing, now, we still learn as we go, but we're a lot better at what we're doing, to the point that we're starting to take the show on the road, if you will, to different locations. But ultimately, a few things that's on the agenda. Number one is I want to get cracking on the second book. So the follow-up to Go For It. Secondly, from a foundation standpoint, I also want to develop an app that we can use as a teaching tool, but also using golf again to leverage that learning and introduce youth to the game at an earlier age. And so if there's any app designers out there that are listening, give us a call. We want to talk. And then lastly is to meet.
You give them a call. Where can they call you though?
They can reach out. So my email address is christopher.everett@GoForItUSA. And that comes directly to me. And that's christopher.everett@GoForItUSA.
And Everett is EVERETT, no E at the end. Am I correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir. Yep. And so
Everett@GoForIt.com.
So those are two things. And then my pie in the sky, which we put it out there so you can work towards it, is I would love to meet and get to work with a screenwriter. I think that with today's environment, books are great, and we do need books, and individuals need to read books to build the skill set and all of those things. But to really reach the demographic that we want to reach, we need to be on screens. And so that's the reason for the app, as well as a short film and a movie at some point. So those
just
are.
to piggyback on what John said, and you somewhat touched on it, but what do you hope? What do you hope that every teen walks away after experiencing the programs that the foundation offer?
I want them to walk away starting to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And so in life, when you're uncomfortable, it's typically because you're growing. You're experiencing something that you haven't done before, whether good, bad, or indifferent. It's something different. And from that experience, you're going to grow. You're going to understand that this is something that I enjoy and I want to do it again. This is something I don't enjoy and I don't want to do it again. But now you know why you don't want to do it. Because golf is not going to be for everyone that we interact with. It just simply isn't. However, going through this process, and we saw it today, and apologize for the background noise. We're still at the golf club and things are going on in the background. But just today, we had 30 teenagers on the golf course, and half of them had never touched a club before. And you could see the awkwardness. You could see the timidness in the beginning. But by the end, they were having a good time. They were enjoying it, and they were able to engage with it. And so my hope and prayer for each individual that interacts with us in some way is that they take one step closer to getting comfortable being uncomfortable, putting themselves in positions that they can have a new experience, they can learn something new about themselves or just something new in general, and then apply that in their lives going forward.
Well, you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Blake and Christopher Everett from the Go For It Foundation. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And as always, you're always welcome to join us anytime.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime. Take care. So, Brother John, what's on tap for the weekend?
Man, I'm actually headed to Fayetteville. A friend of mine is actually going over AKA on Sunday. So I'll be there for her program on Sunday. So I'm actually headed to the crib, headed home.
Okay, so you
hop on the road tomorrow and be there through Sunday.
That's all right. That's all right. We have.
What about you, good brother?
A hectic day tomorrow. Pretty not hectic. A long day. We have the men's conference in the morning. Then in the afternoon we have a junior achievement honor society award ceremony. And I have another event out in the acreage later in the evening at the horse ranch out there for the horse program. And then on Sunday, obviously, we have the big gospel, jazz, and blues concert you heard about earlier. So it's going to be an interesting weekend for me. But whatever you do, brother man, you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next week.
Likewise.
Yeah, take care, man.
You too.
All right, Jeremiah, take it away.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
If you just tuned in, welcome to Community Conversations, where we bring you news that educates without bias and informs without fear. We're using remote tech to make sure the next generation stays connected to the world. This is the future of news.
And yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And hey, if you love what we do here at Community Conversation, you can help keep our program alive. Here's how. You can make a one-time gift, just $50. $50 one time, and that make a huge impact. Or you can do what many people do, the monthly support, $5 a month. Just $5 a month keeps our show going strong. Just remember, every donation is tax deductible and goes straight towards keeping the newscast vibrant and impactful. You may say, why do we need money to keep it alive? We have to pay for the StreamYard, the software in which we use to bring this program. We have to have stipends for the people who put the show together. Obviously, we can't pay them, but we do have stipends. So you can either donate at www.kopmn.org, go to the website, go to the link that says donate now, and you can donate, or you can call 561-665-0151, and you can get more information there as well. Whatever you do, let's keep the conversation going.
Tonight's show shoutouts. Tonight's magic is powered by our star cinematographer and engineer, Jeremiah, a proud rising sophomore at Dr. Juan Garcia High School, and our producer, Denia Strong, an Atlantic High School 11th grader with dreams of becoming a broadcast journalist. Plus, a huge shout out to our Community Conversation classrooms, Mrs. Thompson's fifth graders at Palm Beach Day Academy in Palm Beach, Florida.
Well, right here from Palm Beach. That's nice. Then you have Miss Zelinsky's Busy Bees at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Catholic School in Herrin, Illinois. Herrin, never heard of Herrin. But anyway, folks, thank you from Herrin, Illinois.
And to New Jersey for Mrs. Denoya and her Eagles at Endeavor in Wrightson, and Mrs. Zeem and Mrs. Bonget Orno and their Monty Bears at Montego Township School in Montego.
And Montego,
of course,
New Jersey. Never heard of New Jersey. Interesting. Never heard of New Jersey. And heard anyone from New Jersey. So this may be the first folks we're hearing from New Jersey. Wow.
And of course, happy birthday to Reverend John M. Jackson.
Reverend is another name, another title for a minister, a pastor. Reverend, the Reverend.
Happy birthday to Reverend John M. Jackson and all our students, teachers, and viewers celebrating this week. Keep shining and making your community proud.
But hold up now. Didn't your mom just have a birthday? How'd you forget that? How can you forget your mom's birthday? You just celebrated her birthday, didn't you?
Yeah.
I guess you were planning on doing that next week. Okay. I let the cat out of the bag. You can still surprise her next week. Anyway, as she said, that's a wrap for this week. Tune in next week for more stories about young people changing the game locally and globally. From all of us here, have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in for another amazing rendition of Community Conversations. If you like what you saw tonight, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with friends, families, and even acquaintances. Be sure to tune back next week for another amazing edition of Community Conversations.